Hi friends, this is our Spring 2021 Church Planting Partners update. And for those that are new, Church Planting Partners is a ministry that Phil and I have started to church planters, which are pastors and their wives who have been called to start new churches. And starting a new church can be very challenging, so we hope to be a help to them and a source of encouragement.
And our ministry is kind of like farming during the winter months in that we are spending our time prepping for spring and summer. Over the past couple of months, we've been making connections with Wyoming and Montana church planters and are prepping for that future ministry.
But before Phil tells you about that and our 1,000-mile trek through just a little bit of the state of Montana, praise our grandson Gideon, who just turned 6 months old, had his heart surgery maybe 4 weeks ago. He is doing very well, still has some health challenges that we'll ask you to continue to pray for, but God is very faithful and gracious.
So by way of report, God opened the door for us to spend a week on a vision trip to Montana. I'm going from a state with 1,800 SBC churches to a state twice as big as Missouri with less than 150 churches. SBC churches, certainly different. On Tuesday, we flew into Missoula and saw some communities nearby that were underserved with the gospel. Then the next day, we traveled to 3 towns west of Missoula. They were Superior, St. Regis, and Hagen. The town of Hagen, actually there's a church building, but there is no pastor and there are no members there in that community. The next 2 days we spent in Helena, the state capital, at a conference that was hosted by the Montana Baptist Convention.
And by the way, we went to Helena through Butte and crossed the Continental Divide.
We did. And we were able to meet several pastors, church planters there. Then on Saturday, we needed and got a down day, and we spent the day hiking up a mountain above Missoula.
Yeah, Mount Sentinel.
It had a big M there, kind of like the north end zone of Faroe Field here in Columbia, but it's way too big for us to take a picture in the north end zone of Missoula.
And we were trying we were having to stay on our toes and not slip in the ice and snow while we were trekking up Mount Sentinel, by the way.
And it wouldn't have been a pretty sight to see Laura sliding on her behind all the way down back to the town. Anyway, we also that weekend got to meet some other church planters starting new churches there in the Missoula area. And then our Monday was a part of that 1,000-mile trip, involved a whirlwind trip up to Kalispell. Again, meeting church planters there.
Got to see a little bit of the Flathead Reservation.
We did. We went through the Flathead Reservation. And also a big lake that is along the way up there too. But we saw many towns unserved or underserved with gospel preaching churches. And then we flew out Tuesday morning back to Missouri.
So we want to give a big shout out to Michael and Nancy Liner. They hosted us at the Liner Lodge B&B in Missoula. Michael is a church planting catalyst with the North American Mission Board, and he was our duty driver for that over 1,000-mile trek that week. So just a big thank you to Michael and Nancy.
What's next for us? Well, we have Yeti and CV.
Let me explain what Yeti and CV are. Yeti is our big white truck, and CV, instead of our fifth wheel being called a RV, a recreation vehicle, it's called a CV for carrier vehicle.
Or a carrier vessel, because I spent 3 years in the Navy on a carrier vessel. Anyway, we have those prepped and ready to go. The Bible says that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and that also includes the stops. And I'm going to get to stop by MU Hospital sometime this spring for a prostatectomy. My prostate cancer has been upgraded, and so my prostate has to go.
Bye-bye, prostate.
We met the surgeon there at MU, and we are on her list. So, by way of prayers,
Yes, we would like you to pray for obviously that cancer surgery and a good and speedy recovery. Also, just continue to pray for those divine appointments, those divine conversations that we're having with church planters, and for our scheduling later this summer.
always trying to leave you with a funny, and for once, the funny's not on me. While we were in Superior, Montana, we noticed a broken down sign base in front of the church. The new pastor had been unable to get the outside shed unlocked that housed the furnaces for the church building. So Michael and I volunteered to deploy our cat burglar skills. And after way too many minutes of futility, it became apparent that we would have failed as criminals. But we found a board inside the church with over 30 keys on it. And finally, I think it was like key number 29, that was the one that worked, and bingo, we were in. But that's not the funny story. While we were trying to break in, I found an old sign from the previous closed down church. The name on the sign, Superior Baptist Church. Now, I just thought that was really funny and really special. I know many Baptists who think they are superior to all the rest of Christianity. They're just not willing to admit it, but not these former members. They put it right there on their sign. I wonder why that sign somehow got knocked over, maybe all by itself. God bless. Have a great day.